Hello and welcome to the last video of my LCS 2024 preview series where we cover Team Liquid, one of the few teams with an Academy roster, so this video won't be like 7 minutes long. Last year the team went to Worlds despite mediocrity in the regular season. So last 3 years, 39 and 24, 26 and 10, and then 18 and 18. They would make some changes. I guess there were some internal issues. Summit and Pioshik are out. And Impact has returned, and Umpty from OK Brion has imported to Team Liquid. The average age of this roster will be 25 years old. I think that does make it the oldest roster in the four major regions. It's an interesting situation to say the least. Liquid love to spend money, which you can't blame them for. Players are getting paid. At 28 years old, Impact played with FlyQuest last year. Obviously, that team was a massive disappointment. Weak side player at this point in his career. In 48 games, 2.8 KDA, 7.6 CS per minute, 55.1 KP. 20% of the team's gold. 457 DPM, which is 21.1% of damage. On average, at 15 minutes, he was actually ahead of his lane opponent. 45 gold, 2 CS, 125 XP. Had 15 solo kills, 11 champions played. Kesante, Renekton, and Sion were 73% of those 48 games. That's one of the higher percentages we've had throughout all four major regions videos. So it's definitely something to note. In addition, he's just an older player. And the difference between Summit and Impact is like 180 degrees. Summit is going to int his face off in top lane, or he's going to dominate the top lane. It's one or the other. Where Impact is going to lose with grace, or maybe not lose the lane at all, and just kind of be relevant throughout the game, and also not criticize his mid laner for not being able to play certain champions. Jenkins is the backup, 24 years old. In 38 games last year, had a 4 KDA, 7.8 CS per minute, 53 KP. 20.8 gold share per minute. This was in Academy. 485 DPM, 20.6% of the team's damage. Up 290 gold and 210 XP, however down 1 CS. 22 solo kills, 10 champions played, so very aggressive with all those solo kills. Plays for Fisher College as well, if I recall, as well as Keel. Umpty, 24 years old, played with Brion, like I said, in 89 games. He was all Bro really had. If Umpty was on point, Bro won the game. But at the same time, the way that team plays is like watching paint dry, and the jungler is responsible for getting things going. So we'll see if Team Liquid plays the game quick like they did last year, because Team Liquid's issue last year was not getting leads. They got leads. They were competitive with everybody pretty much. But in the mid to late game, they would throw. Where Umpty comes from a team where, oh no, they don't throw. They just slowly get choked out if they lose. So, 2.5 KDA, 5.4 CS per minute, 77 KP. He was involved because there weren't many fights on Bro. 18.4 gold share, 288 DPM, which was 15.5% of damage. Down 60 gold, 15 XP, but up 1 CS, 7 solo kills, 15 champions played. Sejuani by Maokai, just over half of his games. Keel, 22 years old. If I had to say who is the best jungle prospect in the LCS right now, based on Keel's stats, I'd have to say Keel. I've never watched Keel play because I don't watch Academy, but these stats are pretty good. In 84 games, had a 3.6 KDA, 6 CS per minute, 70.4 KP, very carry-oriented, heavy resource. 19.6% of the team's gold, which is 430 damage per minute, and 17.3% of damage. Actually, he pairs with Impact well. If you look at the top side, long-term, Impact long-term, geez Louise. Paired with a top like Impact, weak side, and then a carry-oriented jungler to offset that gold diffy. That top laner can take less of the share as the jungler eats up more gold. 120 gold, 10 CS, 260 XP ahead at 15 minutes against other Academy junglers. That is a big diffy. That is something seriously to note. 9 solo kills, 18 champions played. Mid lane, we have APA at 21 years old. I have 59 games here from the summer. 24 of the 59 were Academy games, so keep that in mind. 3-1 KDA, 8.5 CS per minute, 65.5 KP. That's very average. But for a 21-year-old being thrust into duty on Team Liquid that is going to Worlds and went to Worlds, I would say these stats are pretty good. Was Worlds a lot for him? Yes. And at the same time, what really could you expect out of a player like APA in that situation? 22.5 gold share, just under 600 DPM, which is 26.4% of his team's damage. At 15 minutes, it had 85 gold, 25 XP, but down 1 CS. 16 solo kills, 16 champions played. Nico, Cassiopeia, and Ari were his 3 most played at 47% of the game. So an interesting champion pool, to say the least. He has weird picks. The Ziggs sticks out, drawing bans at Worlds with it. Roamer, 20 years old, an import from HLE's Challenger roster. 94 games, had a 4.5 KDA, 8.6 CS per minute, 69.2 KP. One does have to wonder if Roamer was brought in here to put pressure on APA, not only outright, but because he offers a more traditional champion pool. Because APA, like I said, Summit did have issues, and Pioshik may have had issues with APA's champion pool and his limitations. So, that's something we should think about. 22.1 gold share, just under 600 DPM as well. 28% of his team's damage. Behind your average challenger mid laner, 10 CS, 10 CS is a lot. 10 gold, 2 CS, 55 XP. 19 solo kills, 20 champions played. Yeon, 23 years old, weak side, 80 carry. I would say got worse as the year went on. 63 games, 4.1 KDA, 9.3 CS per minute, 62.3 KP. Like I said, weak side. Not getting a lot of help, playing alongside core, and they just kind of go through the motions. 23.5 gold share, which isn't a lot for an 80 carry. 628 DPM, 27% of the team's damage. On average, though, 15 minutes, they were not behind. Laning phase was not that bad. Up 80 gold, 85 XP. CS was even. 3 solo kills, 15 champions played. Kesa Aphelios Zaya, 49% of his games. Then we have Spawn at 25 years old. Played with Dignitas for 9 games last year of the 68 that are listed. Dig in the LCS. I think he played with Dignitas in Academy as well. So 3.7 KDA, 9.1 CS per minute, 64.4 KP. So these numbers are pretty underwhelming at a lower level of play. 24.5 gold share. Still put up more DPM than Yeon, just barely, but still. 630 DPM, 27.5% of his team's damage. Down 175 gold and 125 XP at 15 minutes to his enemy. 8 solo kills, 12 champions played. Lastly, we have support. Core JJ. Of course, a world champion. Future Hall of Famer in the Discord, I imagine. At 29 years old, 63 games played, 3.4 KDA, 70.9 KP, 143 DPM. And then the vision's very good. 3.34 vision score per minute, placing 8 wards every 5 minutes, under 8 wards every 5 minutes. 2 control wards every 5 minutes, and cleared 1 ward every other minute. So his clear rate is higher than his control ward rate, which is pretty good because a lot of players waste gold and not clear anything. 20 champions played. Rakan, Rel, Nautilus were 44% of the games. The support on the Academy roster is Kim Down, 24 years old. Played 96 games last year, 3.8 KDA, 72.3 KP. 159 DPM. His vision score was 3.02. He placed over 8 wards every 5 minutes, a control ward every other minute, and only cleared just over 1 ward every 4 minutes. So very different to core, right? At a lower level of play, Kim Down is not getting as much vision score, placing more wards, and clearing less. And you can say, well, it's champion usage and things like that. But we just saw Core's 3 most played champions are not ADC supports. You know, he's just finding good places to use vision. That is experience and wisdom, and why he's still playing. He's still one of the best supports, if not the best support in the LCS. The coach is Spawn. Spawn, different than the Spawn that's playing in the Academy team, Challengers team, or whatever. He has coached in Oceania before. He's also coached for a couple years in Academy in the LCS and done well. So he's earned this opportunity. We'll see how he does with this roster. This is not a roster like that one because this roster is it is the oldest one in the four major regions. So it's not a developing roster in 3 of the 5 roles. I mean, you could argue 4 of the 5 are pretty well set at this point. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.